All right, here we go. This is 3.3, adding and subtracting decimals. Here's a question, 341 plus 233. This is something that you've already done in previous years, probably since grade 3 or 4. You can actually stack these on top of each other. So you make your ones or units place on top of each other, your tens on top of each other, and your units. So you write one on top of the other, and you line it up, add up your ones, you get 4. 4 plus 3 is 7, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So it would be 574 is the answer here. And you've done some subtracting, like 293 subtract 106. Okay, so if we take our 293, subtract 106, borrow from the 9, because 3 can't subtract 6, this becomes a 13. We've got 7, 8, 1. So this is previous year's math. What all these questions have, but isn't written, are actually decimals. All these numbers, there's a decimal actually here. It just so happens that there's 0 in your tenths and your hundredths and your thousandths, and keep going on for a really long time. There's zeros in there. So we can use this in order to figure out how to add and subtract decimals. I'm going to write down some numbers. All right, so I wrote down the same numbers, and I just moved the decimals to different spots. So here we've got 3.41 plus 2.33. To add these, we do almost the exact same thing we did up here. We just need to line up our decimal. Just like this question, our decimals were lined up. We need to line up our decimals here. So we put our 4s here, 4 and 3, 1 and 3, stacking it so that our decimals are in the same spot. Then we add 4 plus 3 is 1, 7, 5. Notice that these are the same digits, it's just the decimals moved over. Why? Because each of these had them moved over. Here's a subtraction question. It has the exact same digits, it's just the decimals been moved over. It's going to look almost exact same. 2.93 subtract 1.06. Make sure your decimals get lined up. And you're going to end up with that same answer. Borrow, I forgot to write those down. 8, 2 is 1.87. 187, 1.87. The tricky thing with adding and subtracting decimals is now, what if there's a different amount of decimals? So let's say we've got 3.41 plus 23.3. We need to line up our decimals. So what we're going to do is go 3.41, and then we're going to put our decimal here. What's in our 10th spot? It's a 3. And then we've got 23 in front. What's here? Whenever there's no digit, it's at 0. And then we add those together. We're going to get 1, 7, 6, 2. And the decimal goes straight below. So 3.41 is 23, plus 23.3 is 26.71. What happens with subtraction when we do something like that? Let's do 29.3 subtract 1.06. All we need to do is line up the decimals. We've got 29.3, and then we've got 1.06. Put the decimal in its own block in your book. What do we have when we have nothing? It's a 0. Fill it in. So borrow from that 3, it becomes a 2. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. 2 minus 0 is 2. 9 subtract 1 is 8. 2 subtract 0 is 2. So 29.30 subtract 1.06 is 28.24. Let's do this crazy question. We got 2,319.32 subtract 0.00001. All we need to do is line up the decimals. So we get this here. How many zeros do we have right of the decimal? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then write down your 1. Anywhere you have nothing, there is a 0 technically there. There's nothing there. And we're going to subtract. We don't have anything here that can subtract. Nothing there, nothing there. Oh, here's something. Turn that into a 1. This becomes a 10. Borrow from it. It becomes a 9. This becomes a 10. Borrow from it. It becomes a 9. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 0 is 9. 9 minus 0 is 9. 1 minus 0 is 1. 3 minus 0 is 3. Put your decimal in the row with the others. 9 subtract 0 is 9. 1, 3, 2. Right? So the answer would be 2,319.31999. To check your answer, just add 1 here, this number plus this number, and you should get this original number, which you do.